Brianna and shine bright. 4 Pacific every Sunday, ride. New guests and new vibes. Talk, laugh, and shine. Oral Live. Hey, Oral Live.
We have a fun live here today. Miss Day has a really exciting new project, new journey she's starting. So I will be doing the lives from here on out. I will be your host. I'm so happy to be here. And don't worry, because we will still be seeing Day at our upcoming events. So that's super exciting. We're so proud of her. And first and foremost, I just kind of want to start off this live by saying thank you so much for joining. And I would love for you to just tell us about your dance journey, how you started. Let's hear about that.
Yeah, so my dance journey started when I was in middle school. And so in the Dallas Independent School District, they offered dance as an alternative to PE.
Really?
So I'm not a fan of dodgeball,
I'm sure.
right? So I saw it as an opportunity that my family could not afford. And so I joined just a general dance class, and it follows the curriculum. So you're learning folk dance, you're learning, what different styles of dance are, what different techniques of dance are, and it's just supposed to be like a 6-week course. So at some point during that, I guess the 6 weeks, I got an opportunity to do something else, take another course in place of another course I was taking. And the dance teacher asked me if I would want to join the dance company. And I was like, well, yeah. But the dance company was delegated only to 8th graders, and I was in 7th grade, which there's a big maturity gap
Right.
between a 7th and 8th grader.
Yeah.
But I guess she saw something, and she allowed me to be part of that, and she worked with me. And so when I got into 8th grade, she started talking about a high school that was for the performing arts. And she said, hey, there's this school you can go to, and basically you can just dance all you want. You'll dance all day long. You'll take ballet, you'll take modern, and you'll take your academic courses. And so I guess from there, that's when you can really say that I begin to train. And so my training is very unorthodox because I never took at a dance studio ever. So I don't have like that dance studio experience, right? So in the summer when people are going to intensives or they're going to workshops, I went to the Dallas Public Library in downtown Dallas, and I checked out all the different technique books from Jose Limon to Paul Taylor, Martha Graham, Lester Horton, Gus Giordano. And I started to just learn by looking in these books. And so I think that curiosity and that work ethic and that drive really pivoted me to want to do this, because I think for a lot, in most generic answer we hear, why do you dance?
Right.
Well, because I want to express my feelings, which that is valid. I'm not invalidating that.
Yes.
But for myself, dance was a way for survival. It was a way out of poverty. It was a way out of the hood. It was a way to an opportunity. It was a way to an education. And so being able to navigate and being able to have that experience from like this little tiny dance studio in middle school in one of the most socioeconomically disadvantaged areas of the city, to going to the performing arts school in downtown Dallas, working with, I was working with Dwight Roden from Complexions Contemporary Ballet and Desmond Richardson. And I was working with all these different choreographers from the Taylor Company, the Limon Company, Robert Battle from Battle Works, the former director of Alvin Ailey. I was just immersed in the experience.
Right.
But with that, having such an unorthodox journey, it was quite challenging, right? Because a lot of the kids that I went to school with, well, they were immersed in a whole other world.
Yeah.
Not that I won't say I yearn for. You can't yearn for what you don't know. Does that make sense? But I will say I was curious to the
Yes.
right? And then kind of being able to branch out, open my eyes to kind of what else was out there.
Yeah.
But honestly, having the lessons and the work that I got from the performing arts high school has honestly it positioned me and it gave me the platform I needed to be able to forge out and to create the career that I've been able to have for the past 21 years.
That's amazing. I mean, what a cool story. Such a unique story. I absolutely love that. That's such a cool thing that they would offer an alternative. That's really, really cool. Now, I want to know, besides self-expression, what kind of inspired you to keep going through challenges of pursuing dance? And what challenges did you face pursuing dance? And what kind of made you say, you know what, I want to pursue this anyway. I wanted to do this in high school. I want to do this in my life. So what kind of your inner self, what told you, you know, this is really what I want to do, and how did you push through those hardships?
I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to create art. I love art. I love visual art.
Yeah.
I love I just love art in general. And honestly, I mean, having a lack of education too, right? Being not totally educated, obviously, I was a young child or adolescent. I didn't realize dance was an art form. But one of my uncles was like, "Yeah, dance is an art." And it really changed and shifted my mindset, right? That I could utilize the the platform of dance to create and storytell.
Right.
And so I think for me, it was being able to really tell the story of the hardships that I faced personally during that time period, but also it gave me an opportunity to tell the stories of my community and where I lived, and to be able to give an identity to, for me, I'm very proud to be Mexican American. I'm proud to be a Chicano. I'm proud to
That's
be
literally
mestizo, soy indígena. And so I take a lot of pride in those things. And so being able to stand there and to do what I did, coming where I came from, being the color that I am, right? That in itself, it gave me a sense of pride and a sense of responsibility to my family and to the culture that I love. And there weren't a lot of people that looked like me doing it. And so I'll reference Jose Limon again, because Jose Limon was a founder and a father of modern dance here in the United States. But he was also a migrant from Mexico that came here and attended UCLA as a visual arts student, traveled to New York with some friends, and was inspired to dance by watching a German modern dance company perform. And then he ended up teaming with another pioneer named Doris Humphrey, and he founded the Jose Limon Dance Company in the 1950s, and it still exists today. And he died in 1970, 71. So
that's a legacy.
that is a legacy in itself. And so you how do you overcome the obstacles, right? Because it's not easy path, right? And so I think when we are so immersed in that experience, we don't realize how vast and big the community is, right? Now it's big in one sense, but it's small in another, because it's kind of an everybody knows everybody kind of industry,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, right?
All connected.
It's all interconnected. But for me, it was just, what makes me different? I don't just want to be a modern dancer. I just didn't want to be a contemporary dancer, a jazz dancer. For me, a dancer is someone who immerses themselves in a variety and in a multitude of styles. So whether it was modern dance, or whether it was Mayan dancing, or whether it was ballet folklorico, or whether it was flamenco, whether it was West African dance, whether it was bachata, whether no matter what it was, I wanted to be able to learn and not necessarily master. The term master bothers me. I don't ever want to master something. If I master something, what more do I have to contribute?
Right. You can never stop learning.
No, yeah. So I want to continue to be a student. And even the word expert,
Yeah.
right? I have knowledge and I'm knowledgeable of what I'm doing.
Yes, absolutely.
And so it was learning to to take certain vocabulary out of my head, right? I think we want to aspire because we want to achieve success, but it was understanding that the contributions that I made had a significant impact on the community. They had a significant impact on myself. And as you're out there and you're on the grind and you're trying to make a living doing this, or you're just trying to get by, or if you're just doing it because you had a tough day at your 9 to 5, right?
Yeah,
You want to give your best to it.
absolutely.
You can never dance does not judge anybody, right? And
No.
dance loves. Dance is a very loving art. I mean, your body doesn't feel that way sometimes, but dance has no boundaries and it's not inhibited by any person based on color, size, culture, rich, poor. It's a very level playing field, but you have to be willing to position yourself and you
Mm.
have to be willing to take in and listen and you have to be willing to always be a good student.
Yeah.
So how did I overcome really was just not taking everything so personal. Not everything is an attack.
Yeah.
Right. And we live by constructive criticism, but also you put so much time into something. And the worst feeling is to put all your time and energy into something and someone to be like, well, you could have done this better, right? Or this could be better, or this didn't read. It was learning to accept that I do not know everything.
Yeah.
My ideas, while they are unique to myself in the big scheme of people that are practicing dance, they're not that unique. The only thing unique is the execution.
Yeah.
And how you execute it makes it different. And how you immerse your person into it makes it different. So it was learning that no matter how much training you had, no matter how many pirouettes you could do, no matter how many tricks you had up your sleeve or how high your leg went, it wasn't about that, right? It's about what they're looking for. And when you're shooting a commercial and they only need 10 seconds of it, you don't
Right.
have time to do all of that, right? Sometimes you just enhance what's going on and you're in the background,
Yeah.
right? But you have to make that spot count. So it's important to make your spot count no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
So as you're out there and you're doing, you have to be able to make every moment count, every gig count. If you don't get something, don't wow about it and cry about it. You get to the next thing. But don't ever let someone tell you that you cannot do something. Don't ever let someone tell you that you can't have a spot or that you're not worthy. Because when someone told me I couldn't do, I created my own.
Exactly. And you used that criticism as fuel to keep going. And that's really amazing. And it's so beautiful that you always remembered your culture and stayed proud of it because it's so important. Dance itself is foundationed on so many cultures. Flamenco, like you were saying, bachata, Latin fusion, so many things. That's really important. And I love that you always stay proud of that. I also want to ask, how has your experience as a male dancer shaped how you see the dance community?
Well, I think there's a stereotype for a male dancer, right? And so, for me, being, it was the stereotype that I was going to put my sombrero, my charros, and my botas, and I was going to get up there and do ballet folklorico, right? And that's what I felt most people did when, they anticipated when I said I danced. But that's just not the case. I'm more than that. And so there's so many stereotypes too. Like my dad didn't understand dance, right? And here his first son, his oldest child, has decided that he wants to be a dancer. Yeah, he was like, what are you doing? So obviously there's that first question, right? That he asked, well, are you gay? Right? That was the
Right.
first question. And I was like, well, no, I just like dancing. Right? I just really like dancing. And I said, I'm surrounded by everything that I want, and that was also, uh, sorry, my son's upset. But
No worries.
that was also another thing was it was that stereotype that, I was more feminine because of dance or whatever it was. And so I felt a sense that I had to prove my masculinity, right? I had to prove that I wasn't something to society.
Mhm.
And, you know, people saw Mikhail Brishnikov, and I was like, well, look at Brishnikov. Brishnikov has been married several times, right? And so it was, it's hard, it's tough. It's
Mhm.
at the same time, too, you know, when people hire a male dancer, they expect a certain aesthetic. They expect a male dancer. And so I always tell male dancers, there's a time and place, right? There's a time and place. When you show up to perform the Nutcracker, you show up and you're in that role, right? And then if you want to be backup dancer for Rihanna, then that is your role,
Yeah.
right? You can do that. Or not just, well, not saying that all of her dances are feminine by any stretch of the imagination, but there's a time and place to be that part of yourself. And so it's very hard because people still go there, you know, even now I have 6 kids, you know, right? I have an 18-year-old all the way to a 3-year-old, and still being met with that. And will that ever shift? I don't know. But at the same time, that's very discouraging to the male.
Yeah.
That's very discouraging um to boys that may have an interest in it, right? That may, one, they don't want people to assume. And going into dance, the growth in the male dancer is astronomical. A male dancer could start dancing at 17 and be performing with the Bolshoi at 21,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, our genetics are a little different, right?
Right.
If they really train. So I've always encouraged, like, go for it and don't let society damper you. And I think even with even with TV, So You Think You Can Dance came out, I like that it positioned people. It showed male dancers like
Yeah.
really dancing in a different and unique way, commercialized, but still they were on TV and they could be seen and visualized. And I think that opened up the avenue for others where, you know, others that didn't necessarily. Well, one, I'll say I'm glad I didn't start in a traditional dance studio, because if I'd have walked in and there would have been like fairies and rainbows and things like that, I probably would have said, this is not for me.
Right.
But because the studio I was in was so bare and it was so minimal pictures,
Yeah.
I was more inclined because the aesthetic and the aura was there, and it interested me. So it's hard. I can't really. It's a it's a hard place to navigate, because I never want to discourage someone from being themselves. You should be who you are, how you want to be it, as long as it's not harming and hurting people. But in this industry, it's very tough, and society is not very nice to the male dancer.
Yeah. So piggybacking off of that,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to a male dancer who really has a passion for dance and wants to start, but is maybe unsure of getting into it?
You can't let your insecurities get the best of you. You have to, if it's something you love and it's something that you really want to do, or it's just something that you have a high interest in, you should do it. Life is very short, and we have to try to have these experiences now while we're here. And we have to be able to position ourselves to not look back and have regret that we
Right.
could have done. It's okay. We are, first of all, hate never prevails.
Never.
No matter how hard how much it hurts, or no matter how society positions or how they look at us, that will never ever deter our position and our role in the art form. And I think that can speak for the arts in general,
Yeah.
right? Not just dance, but just, you know, you should take that risk. By taking the risk and by going for it, you have the opportunity to see where your potential is. And potential is in every person, right? You could have the greatest potential as a cellist. You can have this innate ability to pick up an instrument and play it and learn it,
Yeah.
right? But if you never pick up the instrument, you'll never know.
Exactly.
You can be probably the next Brishnikov, right?
Absolutely.
But unless you get in and you start training and you take that step, you'll never know.
Yeah.
So there's no shame in doing, right?
Yeah.
You lose out on so much, but dance offers so much more than just that physical aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
It opens up the mind and it taps into a part of the brain that allows you to excel in other avenues of your life. And so the skills that you're learning and that work ethic that you're learning through dance can be applied to every element of your life. So it's beyond just dancing. Take that risk because you just don't know. You know, Nike's not, I think Nike recently just changed their logo, but just do it, right?
Yeah.
Just go for it.
Right.
There's nothing, the only person that's going to stop you is yourself. And if you allow people to deter you from trying now, what else will you allow them to deter you from doing?
Right. You only get one life.
You do. I mean, I wouldn't turn down a candy bar, you know? So,
I would love to ask you, how do you think that we can make the dance world more inclusive and welcoming for everyone?
community is very important. And part of a successful community is being able to lend a helping hand. And dance competitions are really great because they offer an opportunity for people to perform. But there's that judging element to it. Let the judges do the judging. And the dancers should be there to support each other and to cheer each other on. We're not going to like everything that we see on the stage. That is okay. But everybody that is there, everybody that's on stage, that is their space. And they deserve an opportunity just like everyone else.
Right.
And in order to build that collaborative community, we have to be willing to work with each other. But
Yeah.
sometimes too, you know, the same can be said for the adults that are in these rooms as well.
Mm.
And it starts right there. It starts with what we're seeing. And we have, yes, we're there to compete. You're there for one reason. You're there because you want a title, you want a placement, you want to be in an overall. But it's okay to humble yourself. It's okay to support the underdog. There's this thing where we mix up creativity and technique, right? Sometimes things are very creative and very unique, and it overrides that
Yeah.
technical element to it,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's about working with your strengths and working with your talents to be able to build, while at the same time building those around you.
Yeah.
And building those around you may not be the person that dances with you in your company, may not be the person that dances with you in your studio,
Yeah.
but you're stronger together than you are apart. And if
Absolutely.
we don't start learning that now, we're really going to lose the opportunity to be able to create these experiences together in our society. The people that you're dancing against right now are the people that are going to be doctors, lawyers, heart surgeons.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that we're making a positive impact on those people.
Yeah.
So building community is very important, and finding ways to, what can we do as a community together? What can we do amongst each other to be able to create that sense of unity?
Yeah.
I think that's very vital. And I think it's very important for the young dancers to see now. But at the same time, those things can be contributed across, right? The whole landscape of our lives. But if we can cultivate that and carve that out, doing what we love to do,
Yeah.
then the opportunity for that to spread,
Yes.
it's just, it makes it more tangible.
Yes.
You're able to put that into people's hands. Passion is everything. Being passionate and loving what you do, but sharing it with others. Dancing is a gift in itself, but sharing it is a more powerful gift. Your audience is a powerful gift.
Right.
So when you're on stage and you're performing, it's a gift to the people that are taking time to watch. Time is a valuable commodity.
Yeah.
It cannot be purchased, it cannot be bought. So if we can spend more time building each other up and less time at each other's necks, or less time looking down on people, we can make a difference and an impact. And that's what this is about.
Yeah.
What kind of impact are we going to make through the art we love? We're there for one reason. We're together for one reason. We're there because we love an art form. We're there because we want an opportunity to showcase the best of us. But the best of me doesn't have to be the best of somebody else. And we
Exactly.
forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget when you hear the word dance competition because you immediately want to assume that you're competing. But like you said, it's so important to remember that the whole reason we dance is that we love it. We're sharing an art with other people. We're sharing a space with other people who love art. And that's so amazing. And dance is a language. So I think we could all be kinder in that language, of course.
I think so too. There's an opportunity to make true change. There really is. Our organization was lucky enough to create a performance about the tragedy that happened in Uvalde, Texas in 2022 at Robb Elementary School. And we were able to bring in some of those surviving members from that tragic experience at Robb Elementary. We were able to create conversation. But at the same time, we were able to tell the story through a creative and artistic avenue that gave those souls an opportunity to still be alive, to still fuel us with the power and the energy to advocate for the changes that we feel need to be made. And dance is just that powerful of a platform. And, I remember judging with somebody some years ago, and they were so offended by what they were watching. I said, look, it's not my place to be offended. It's my place to take in what is being given to me. As long as it's not hurting, harming, or damaging somebody, I don't get to be offended by it. I'm there to judge it for what it is because that was something given to them and now they're giving it to us.
Yeah.
And so these children and these dancers deserve self-respect because it takes a lot of cojones to get out there and to perform, and it is not easy. And so whether it's something that I may not agree with, or it's a subject that I don't agree with, in that moment, as long as everyone's clothed, right?
That
And then it's not overly, gore or,
Right.
just it, then I take it.
Yeah.
And I respect it for what it is.
Yeah.
So it is so important. We all have so much growing to do.
Yeah.
And we can't forget that just like we're growing in dance or we're growing in our art form, it's important for us to grow as human beings too.
Yeah.
Right? We're not perfect, right? I am not perfect.
Yeah.
But I think through those imperfections, I'm learning to shift and navigate myself, but also how I've aged and how I've lived life has shifted and how I've changed how I create. And so I'm embracing that process. I'm embracing aging. I'm embracing going into decade number 4 of my life.
Right.
Right. And so being able to embrace that experience and not work against it has taught me to be a little smarter about the choices that I'm making choreographically and physically. So all in all, it's an important thing for all of us to take the risk that we need to take now. Don't let people defy us. Don't let someone tell you you can't. Be brave enough to carve out your own opportunity. Choreograph, create. No one is going to create on you better than you create on yourself because you know you better.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of kids, I don't like improvising. I don't like choreographing. Take that chance. Sometimes it's what you need to get to the next level.
Absolutely.
And so I think that what we're all doing contributes to one thing, and that's just to be better. And as long as we're striving for better, then the path looks optimistic.
100%. You pinned it right there. And what an amazing way to use your platform and use your art to tell stories. That's what it's all about. So thank you so much, Favian, for
Ooh, baby.
sharing
Thank you
your
so much.
story. And we will be back with another Aura Live Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. I would hope to see you all there. And don't forget to follow us on Apple and Spotify.
Sunday, it's Oral Live. Hey, Oral Live. Yeah, Oral Live. Join us every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific. Talk, laugh, and shine at Oral Live. Woo!